having gone through this contest, I've been in this industry for 30 plus years. Have been the number one income earner with five smaller companies, nothing as big and successful as LifeWave, but have had a measure of success in this industry. And I learned a lot during the 3 weeks of this contest. I just want to share that with people on my team. And Greg and Mena asked me to share it with a broader scale. So that's what I'm doing today. And I hope this helps someone. But for me, the number one thing by far was praying more. Pray for God to lead me to the right people and for the right people to be led to me, praying before and during making calls. And this was something that I did implement during the 3 weeks, and it really helped. And I also have watched Greg and Mena. I've watched Kim and Diana. I've watched them pray for us and our team, our right and left legs. And so that's something we implemented during these 3 weeks at a much higher level. And I attribute that, number one, to our success. Thank you, Lord. The second thing is we created a vision board and set a goal. We were committed to reading that vision board and reading it multiple times during those 3 week time. And I'm going to continue doing that going forward. My goal was to get 30 points. So that was my goal going in. As you heard today, we hit 23. So we fell short of our goal, but we set a tough goal and we went for it. And we went for it up to the last day, the last hour. Our last person actually signed up at 11:30 Eastern time Sunday night. So we went hard for our goal of 30. And even though we missed that goal, we still succeeded. That's a tip right there. Set your goals high and go for it, and you'll be successful. This is a copy of our vision board. You may recognize a lot of this from one of the vision boards you saw on a Saturday training, because that's where I took a screenshot and then I made it my own. I took a screenshot of someone else's vision board. I kept many of the things they had on theirs. Some of the Bible verses, they related to me also. So this was my vision board that I read throughout the 3 weeks on a consistent, regular basis. When I was making a lot of calls on a particular day, I'd actually stop, get up, take a little walk, and come to my vision board and read it again. And it kept me looking for a miracle every day. Who was going to be that miracle? And keeping my eyes on the ultimate goal of helping 17 families earn $1 million or more. That's my ultimate goal in this business. 17 or more families earn $1 million or more. And then we also spoke Chuck and Diane win, earn $2,500 first place. Chuck and Diane Williams win, earn first place. We read that over and over again. And as the 3 weeks went on, it became more and more believable. And by the end, we were speaking with total confidence, even though at the time I was reading it, Dr. Amy was ahead of me. Number 3, accountability and encouragement partners. I cannot encourage you enough to incorporate this. And it doesn't necessarily have to be someone in your upline. Although Brenton Deering was one of my top encouragers, it was also my wife, Diane. And I feel so sorry for couples that don't have their wife supporting them. And I pray for you. But do whatever you can to get your spouse's support, because there's nothing more powerful than two. Two can set 10,000 a flight. And that's something Brenton reminded me of. So encouragement and accountability both. I don't want just accountability. I also want to be encouraged. And I had multiple people doing that for me, but my wife and Brenton were the two top. I encourage you to get a couple people that will get in your corner, hold you accountable, but also encourage you. The fourth thing, this is really a big key, because when we first started LifeWave, we made a list like you're supposed to do, but that list had gotten stale. And when the contest hit, I'm like everybody, I've been doing this for a year, so I pretty much contacted everybody I could think to contact. Well, I said, no, we need a big list. And so we went back through our original list, found a bunch of people that we really hadn't followed up with or called in a while, so I put them on my list. I also had hundreds of business cards I've accumulated through decades, and they've just been sitting here on my desk in a box. And I went through like 500 business cards, and I was looking for two things: people that I remembered and I knew, and I thought they might remember me, and people that I liked. If they didn't fit those two criteria, I tossed them in the trash can. There's no sense keeping them in my big box anymore. But if I liked them, if I remembered them, and I thought they'd remember me, and I liked them, that was the only criteria. And then that was an all-day effort one day, calling those 50 people and just going through the script. I also joined a BNI at the beginning of this contest. And I didn't do that in coordination with the contest. It just God ordained it in such a way, and they really came through for me. Lots of them decided to try the product. Then I also went through old notebooks that I use. I journal extensively. So I went through the last year of my journaling, and saw names that I hadn't remembered or hadn't contacted. So I had a big audacious list going in, and I did it by this right here. You might be thinking, well, I don't know anybody. I challenge you. Go through your phone, go through your Facebook contacts, go through past Christmas card list, whatever you want to do, but you know people. And if you've got 20 people on your list, you're going to get discouraged really quick when those 20 people don't respond right away. But if you got 200, 300 people on your list, you've got confidence because you know the timing's going to be right for someone. You just got to find that someone. The fifth thing, and this is huge, utilize three-way calls. You're told this all the time, but less than 2% of you do it. And I was in that less than 2%. I wasn't doing it either, not on a consistent, regular basis. Two things happened. I started using other people's stories, including Greg's story. I love Greg's story, so I'd be telling that to people, and then that would give me the opportunity to do just an easy three-way call. Hey, you know the guy I was just telling you about, an incredible story? I want you to meet him and hear from his own lips. And bam, I would three-way him in. And Greg and Mena, Ken and Diana, they do the best three-way calls that I've seen in my 30-plus years in this industry. So while they're doing a three-way call for you, be taking notes on what they cover and how they cover it. And then you use that as you become a leader and do three-way calls. But I challenge each and every one of you, don't think they're too busy to do three-way calls for you. They are very extremely productive, and they got full schedules. But the thing that goes to the top of their list are people who are hungry, people who are plugged in the Saturday trainings, and people who are building this business. They will take your call whenever possible. And if they can't, they will call you back, and then you can get your prospect on the phone. There's nothing more powerful than someone knowing that they're going to get help too. There's a subconscious thing that happens that they know they can do it when they see you getting help. So I encourage you, do number 5, utilize three-way calls. Number 6, use the scripts. Don't just wing it. You may think you're the most persuasive, best salesman in the world, like a Ken Burke, but he uses the scripts. And it's very, very important that we all use the scripts. These are found on thisisitteam.com. This is one of the scripts. And the one thing I changed during this 3 weeks is I added the final part about the biz op. I was very focused for the first year, primarily just on the product. I saw it doing so many wonderful things. I was so excited about the product. I kind of cut my script off at that point and didn't do the last part of the script, which they tell us every Saturday to do this. But hey, I'm just being vulnerable with you. I wasn't doing it. But during the 3 weeks, I did the whole script and nothing but the whole script. And so that opportunity part got a few people to join that would not have joined if I'd just been talking about the product. I encourage you, use the whole script. And then lastly, this is probably next to prayer. This is the biggest one. Talk to people. I had gotten very lazy with my year in LifeWave. When I first started network marketing 30 years ago, you couldn't text or Facebook message people and leave audio messages. And so that wasn't even an option. You had to call people. Well, with this business, you were able to text and you're able to Facebook message. And then when I got a little more advanced, I would do an audio text or an audio Facebook message. I'm here to tell you that God had my phone break. Now, maybe he didn't do it, but my phone broke about 6 weeks ago to where I could not text people and I could not receive text all the time. And so it forced me to start calling people. What I noticed 5, 6 weeks ago was my productivity and effectiveness went up, even though I was doing less because I could only call so many people as opposed to texting a lot more. And so when the contest hit 3 weeks ago, I made a commitment with my accountability partner, Brendan Deering, that I would talk to people, not text, not Facebook message. I would talk to people. That made the biggest difference in the world because when a person picked up the phone, first of all, I knew they wanted to talk to me. Second of all, if I had to leave a message, which was the case most times, I was able to leave an audio message, but they knew I tried to call them. I wasn't doing the chicken way of just leaving an audio message. So if you take a few things, hopefully these 7 tips helped you. God bless you. And Greg and Mena, we love and appreciate you and Ken and Diana so much. The leadership and the path you're driving for all of us, and the fact that you're still so actively involved in our businesses, even though you've achieved your dreams, it means the world to us. So thank you, guys. We love you much.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Thank you, Chuck. That was fantastic. And so hopefully you guys took the notes like I did, writing down each of these different
It's
things.
also recorded.
Yes.
So you can go and make sure you get absolutely everything down.
Yes.
Those were great tips.
Yeah, so hints for next contest, because that's one thing that LifeWave is putting out contests all the time. They're putting out different things for the incentive trips. There's other things that we're going to be doing. So again, that is huge. Pray more, create a vision board, which is what we should all be doing anyway. Accountability and encouragement partners, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. Make a big list. That is something that literally...
and call.
Yes.
You make a list and then start making those calls.
Yep. And utilize the 3-way calls. And I tell people all the time, get us on the phone, because a lot of times the same thing that even with us, I talk to somebody It's great. I said, I'd love you to hear from my wife as well. It's just another person. I'd like you to hear from Ken Burke. I'd like to hear from some other people. We've gotten Stephen Jean on the phone, for big leaders and stuff like that too. And use the product into scripts because they work. There's a reason why. And of course, doing like what Chuck and Diane do, saying with belief, with conviction, they know this business is working. They know obviously it's changing lives. And so when you do it with conviction, it's amazing what happens when they hear it in your voice, which is obviously the part of talking to people.
And the script also keeps you on track, because sometimes you get on a call and you're like, okay, what do I say now? And then you're talking, and you chew the person's ear off, and they're so gone. They're so far gone.
Yep.
So the script in front of you is going to keep you on track.
Yep. And the more you do it, it becomes your own. And then you can just share from your heart, but keep it brief with belief. And that's the key with all this. So Chuck and Diane, again, congratulations to all the winners. But thank you, Chuck, for sharing those tips, because that is crucial. Those are little things that you apply these little things to anything in life. It'll help you achieve. Attitude, activity, accountability is what we talked about several weeks ago, which is huge. So again, thank you, Chuck, for that.